Welcome back to Find My Wings. This is Jesse. Today we have something super special for you. You can see the 86 in the background here, but there's another new car. Let's review this Mustang 5.0. Thank you so much for all the support. We're approaching 160 subscribers. We have over 34,000 views, all kinds of cool stuff. Any likes, comments, subscriptions that you can give us, any shares, much appreciated. Thank you for coming back here. I'm very excited to show you this Mustang and start a new series here altogether. All right, so the goal here today is to introduce you to Louis over in the corner here and show you his Mustang 5.0. So we're gonna talk to Louis first, and then we're gonna talk about this Mustang, the ups and the downs, how it came to be, and then we'll talk a little bit at the end about how it compares to my 86 over here. So use those chapters down below right here. Use those chapters if you wanna skip any of this or get to what you really want out of this video. So, Louis, introduce yourself. Who are you?
Hey everyone, really happy to be on Finding My Wings with Jesse today. My name's Louis. Jesse and I have been, we've known each other for a couple years now. We started working together at a startup where we live. And yeah, we just both really love cars and, really, he's a great guy. So, we've just been friends since then and, we've just been sort of, messaging each other, chatting about cars, and really happy to be on the channel today reviewing the Mustang.
Happy to have you. And I know we've chatted about all this before, but you have a history with Mustangs. So tell me a little bit about your history with Mustangs and why Mustangs.
Yeah, so pretty long history actually. It started, in high school actually. I was just bugging my dad endlessly about getting a Mustang, and he was into cars, but he's also a super practical guy. So I had to bug him super long, and he ended up getting a 2012 Mustang V6. With the terrible slush box automatic, which I love that engine. I think that Cyclone 3.7 is really it's like a baby Coyote, right? It's got the similar sort of power delivery and just really living in those high RPM. So that was an amazing car. And then I got the manual bug, so convinced him to buy a 2014 Mustang manual V6 again. Couldn't quite get him to go for the GT yet, but that was sort of my first car that I learned manual on, and that one was the MT82 as well, so essentially the same transmission. So I've essentially been driving the same manual for 8-9 years.
Yeah.
And then when we started working together a couple months into the job, as a classic guy out of university does, I went with the 2015 Mustang EcoBoost. It was a pretty sick car.
Sorry, Eco Bullet.
Yeah,
for everybody, Eco Bullet. It was dark green.
Yeah, so Jesse actually named that car the Eco Bullet, which I actually thought was badass because if you guys know that guard green, I think that was the code name for Ford for that color. That was my favorite color, I think, of Mustangs ever. I like the silver a lot, but that green was amazing. So that car was really good. We ended up doing stage 1. We did an air intake, exhaust, full catback. I really like that car. The torque was just amazing.
It was Cobb tuned?
Yeah. So that one had the Cobb V3 tuner or something like that.
V3 port or something?
Yeah. So that thing was awesome. It added no lift shift as well and launch control. So some pretty cool features. And yeah, I really like the EcoBoost. It's a really good car, and the car was 17 grand. Getting a car with that much power and such a low amount of mods and investment in it was pretty amazing, So I really enjoyed that car, but you can only get passed by so many GTs just screaming at 7,400 RPMs until you're yeah, I think I probably need that one. Essentially, it was a year later. The next February, I was yeah, I think it's time to get into the GT. So here we are, went with the 2021 manual, and I was looking at Camaros as well and looking at stuff that was slightly used, but just with interest rates and with those cars actually holding their value pretty well, as far as I saw in the market too, I just kind of did the math, and it made sense to go with the new. I'm sure some people will disagree and will have a lot to say in the comments about it, but I think it was just the right decision for me. So I'm super happy with the car. I think I've had it for 6-7 months now. So definitely getting used to it, feeling very comfortable, and yeah, it's just amazing car.
And so far with this 2021 Mustang 5.0 manual, what have you done to it, and what are your goals to do with it?
So I haven't done too much to it. So I did wheel spacers, which were on the EcoBoost previously. So that was just, we popped those off, put them on here. Put the, I don't know, you probably won't be able to see it in the shot, but the little GT350, I don't know if you guys know, like along the side running boards, they have like that little lip. Kind of gives it, a little bit more flair. And of course, I had to black out the front Mustang badge here. I did the rear GT badge as well, but I didn't do the side 5.0 badge. And then I just think the grill looks a lot better in the back with it all blacked out. So
I think we forgot something here. What else is done to your Mustang right now?
Okay,
We're gonna hear it in a second.
Yeah, so probably my favorite mod, actually. Kind of funny that I forgot it. So this car came equipped with the active exhaust, which was like, I think it was a $900 option from the factory. I knew I was going to do something with the exhaust, and I really like having actually like quiet mode and stuff too, But we did the Resonator Delete X pipe, and it just really, really opened it up. The cold start is really loud now, and it really the active exhaust was a super low exhaust note, and this actually adds, it makes it a little more high pitch, a little raspier, kind of closer to that, sort of GT350 sound. And yeah, I love it. It sounds amazing. That's essentially all that's been done to it so far. In the future, I would like to probably go with a short shifter. Just to, like I said, I like the MT82, but the throws are a little long, and occasionally, which other guys have talked about too, second to third can be a little tricky, especially at high RPMs. So that will probably help with that. I really want those Mach 1 wheels. I don't know if you guys have seen them, but just Google like Mach 1 performance wheels, essentially. I think you'll probably be able to find it with that. Those would eliminate the need for the spacers and really, I think, just plant the car and, bring it kind of closer to that like Camaro ZL1, or sorry, not ZL1, 1LE kind of handling, make the car feel a lot more hunkered down. And potentially a supercharger, years down the road when, if you feel like you need 700 horsepower. But I think it's a really great balance of handling and power the way it is now. This off of the 5.0 badge, they come with like the little plastic on them. It was like one of the most satisfying things I've ever done in my life. Yep.
And so how much power do these come with from this factory?
So from the factory, it's 460 horsepower and 420 foot-pounds of torque.
Nice.
Yeah.
And how much do you think that the X-Pipe changes it?
I don't know, to be honest. I didn't really notice anything from like the butt dyno perspective, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think even just the noise itself almost makes it feel faster.
I know you on the stock air filter and everything?
Yeah.
Sure.
Stock air filter, stock everything on the engine.
A confirmed sound generator. It's right here.
Yep. I don't know. A lot of guys might unhook that, but honestly, like, I like sound from a car, and as long as it's not completely fake, then I like that.
And like all these lights and stuff, like you were telling me that these match the back lights on all the generations, and you got your little Mustang symbol in here.
Yeah, only the real Mustang guys will know that. Like, if you look even at the 2015 and 2017, these lines are actually completely straight, in the same way that the rear taillights were straight. And now for the new generation, they kind of have that more like, I don't know, like a chevron sort of shape, where they actually have some curve to them. So I just think that's a really cool styling thing. And you know, you and I, we both love these tail lights and just, you know, the detail in them. I forgot to actually mention this mod too. There you go, little mud flaps.
Oh yeah.
Just because, yeah. Now if you guys see, like with the 25mm spacer, I could hear, especially after it rained, essentially like little rocks and stuff hitting the side of the car. And you know, obviously that just like hurts when you hear that in your car. Yeah. So I think those actually do make like a decent difference. Maybe for the viewers too. Do you guys think black roof maybe?
Ooh, yeah, let's see.
I feel like the black
roof silver
could be
roof.
Cool. You know, I feel like sometimes it makes the car almost appear like it's lower too.
I like matte black.
Yeah, that would actually be sweet, eh?
Agreed. Let us know what you think in the comments.
Yeah.
Oh, this is actually a usable car. Something I like about the 86 FR-S as well. Of course, this is a lot bigger than an FR-S inside. So, how do you find it with usability? Back seats, trunk, everything like that?
Well, the back seat is really not for humans. Mostly for kids or amputees.
Yeah.
But honestly, like if you guys look in the trunk and stuff, the rear seats fold down, and mostly I keep them folded down too because you hear the exhaust more. So just a tip for the guys out there. But you know, you actually do have a ton of cargo space. Like when you fold both those seats down, and you know, obviously you only have 2 people. Mostly I just do stuff like with my girlfriend, so it's not really like a big deal for us.
Mm-hmm. So I gotta get more exhaust in my car? Yeah, let's put in quiet. Guess that's tame to somebody? And so, like, while we're sitting here, what is this car equipped with? Like, what's packages and stuff is in it right now?
Yeah, so honestly, I can't even remember the name. I think it's like 301A or whatever. Essentially, it's base everything except for the performance package. So it's got, you know, upgraded brakes, suspension. It's got the front roll bar. It's got some other, like, performance package things that I honestly am not even sure about. And obviously 6-speed manual. Yeah, so really just, you know, a base performance package, 6-speed manual.
Fair enough. And what's the red line in it?
This one, they say it's 7,400.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, let's take it for a drive.
Beauty. Let's do it. Put my trusty one glove on.
Look at this.
Honestly, guys, you might chirp me for it, but, like, this wheel is super slippery. Stock, and like obviously, you know, your skin oil over time is gonna have a huge effect on how much your steering wheel wears out. So I do get chirped for it, but it really makes you feel more like confident when you're driving too.
Plus, if you were single, it would be great to show your kinks on Tinder and stuff.
Yeah,
Pull up
exactly.
with your one glove.
And then when another Mustang drives by and you do this thing, you look really fucking legit because you have a glove on. And then they're like, oh shit, like that guy must be like a fucking race driver or something.
He was really easy to pass for a race driver. Yeah. I'll just hold, and anything you want to tell about it.
Beauty.
Tell about it, yeah.
Sounds good. And this car has the auto rev match too.
Oh yeah.
Which, like, I know a lot of purists will probably be like, oh, like you should downshift yourself, which, you know, I do know how to downshift myself, guys, but I just find when you're daily driving, it's just so nice to be able to just nail those downshifts and, you know, you like coming up to a stop sign or you see a nice Miata like that, you know, you can just fucking unload on him a little bit.
He looked, I watched his eyes. It's a comfy car. Big seats. Are they heated or cooled and stuff?
No, they're just like the cloth based ones. I actually do like them too. I think they're comfortable. I wish they had maybe like a little bit more bolstering, but like I'm like a decently sized guy too, so I feel like the seat suits me.
thought we're in Mexico today.
So everyone who says you can't shift an MT82 from second to third, there you go.
Just saw it. Proof. Train track.
Yeah, this looks fucked, so we're gonna slow down, boys.
Yeah, it's not great. And is this on coils or is this on MagnaRide? I forget.
It's on coils.
Okay, good.
So this one didn't come equipped with MagnaRide. Honestly, that's one of those things that keeps me up at night sometimes, is like, I've been in cars equipped with it, not a Mustang, I've been in Camaros equipped with it, and, you know, for a road like this with a lot of little sort of undulations and stuff, like a country road, I feel like it really would, you know, calm the car down and make it, you know, a little bit more compliable?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a word. But yeah, I feel like that would be something where maybe I'll sort of look into in the future, but from what I've seen, it can be pretty expensive to do aftermarket.
Sure, yeah.
Oh yeah, that is pretty heavy. Sneaky little guy.
So as we turn onto another road, how does the power delivery and everything feel compared to your EcoBoost? And the V6 in the past too, I guess.
So honestly, like right now, like until you're above like 4,000, you know, the car actually isn't as pulling as hard as the EcoBoost was. To me, that actually makes the car more enjoyable because, you know, as you go through the RPM range in this car, you know, you kind of get to feel those different ranges of power, and you get to feel when, you know, the American VTEC starts to fucking kick in, you know?
Yeah.
So from that perspective, I really like the power delivery, and, you know, going back to the V6, like, I got used to that, you know, sort of being in the higher power band, but really lacking that low down torque. You go to the EcoBoost, you have all the low down torque you could ever want, but you don't have that top end, right? So obviously this engine is really the best of both worlds. And yeah, once you're above like 4,000, 4,500 RPMs, it really fucking like comes alive. So I like those sort of higher RPM band cars. Like it's above 4,000, 5,000 RPMs, the fun is kind of over. Mm-hmm. Whereas with this car, the fun's just getting started. So, you know, it's whatever you like, but I just found for me that, you know, this is sort of the right formula for this car.
As far as like a normal person considering buying a car, they have to live with this thing daily. Like, what's your recommendation here? Where would you start if you're just maybe getting your first car, or you just selling your first Honda Civic and you're trying to get into something sporty? Where does this car fall in that realm?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, like historically, you know, the Mustang has been, you know, the economical way to a good amount of horsepower, and obviously that's still true. You know, this car, I think now has kind of bumped itself up a little bit more, where now, you know, the EcoBoost is kind of filling that, but, you know, this car, the MSRP on it is now, you know, $50,000 for a base car, right? So it's no longer, you know, a super affordable car, but, you know, a lot of that is justifiable, and, you know, the new tech and stuff they put into it.
Agreed, and they hold their value. Yeah,
so for me, like, I think a car like the EcoBoost is like amazing.
Cars in here, gotta give them some.
Oh yeah.
Got all their attention. And what kind of fuel economy are you getting these days?
Let's take a gander at that. I don't spend too much time looking at this because, you know, it's not what I bought it for. Right now, the whole trip, so since I've had the car, 3,500 kilometers, I'm averaging 15.4 liters per 100 kilometers.
Okay, yeah, that's not bad for driving it sporty and stuff too.
Yeah, and my EcoBoost was like around 12. So, I mean, obviously, yes, it does use more gas, but, you know, it's not like a different universe of gas. I just feel like this engine feels so special compared to the EcoBoost engine. Like, you know, the EcoBoost engine is good, but it just doesn't have the character and,
it's just at the bottom of the corner.
The sound and the drama, you know? But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the short little drive here. I'm sure me and Jesse will be doing, you know, tons of stuff in the future with the cars, and, you know, getting out to the drag strip and the track and, you know, all that good stuff. So looking forward to having you guys along for that ride too. It's been great being on the channel. Thanks again, Jesse, so much for, you know, extending the invite and, you know, spending this day together. It's been really fun. Alrighty.
Alright, so Louis is graceful enough to let me drive this car. This is 3,500 kilometers on it, so I'm going to be very nice to it. To me, this is still in the break-in realm, but I want to compare it to the 8.6, so let's see what we can do here.
Oh yeah, the rumble.
So I mean, off the bat, compared to the EcoBoost, feels a lot nicer actually.
It's way easier to drive than the EcoBoost, eh?
Being a new car, I guess?
Yeah, and honestly, the clutch, people say the clutch on the V8 is actually easier than the EcoBoost too. So that's, you know, actually a common thing that people say.
Oh, that's weird. I'm like trying not to rev match myself.
Yeah, it'll do it a little bit on upshifts too.
Man, just like cruising in second gear, not something you really do in an FR-S. Second gear is basically first gear.
Yeah, see, he's already getting the feel for how fucking tall the gears are.
Take me a second to get used to this clutch. It's a long throw, but it's actually pretty light.
Yeah, no, it's not bad, eh? I like it.
Can definitely feel that it's a big, wide car compared to an FR-S at least. You can feel the power. I haven't really given it yet. We'll see when we turn on to a nice, quiet, long straight.
Yeah.
But, so going up a hill in fourth gear, not like really a thing. It feels like it has tons of power, tons of torque. The FR-S, like you'll get up to sixth gear because you're just trying to keep the engine calm, and you have to downshift again to go back up a hill, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely, you know, like it doesn't have a Camaro's level of torque down low on the RPM range, but, you know, it's still a big displacement engine, right? So it's still gonna, you know, the torque around 2,000 RPMs is always enough for daily driving stuff, you know?
I'll try to give it a little bit more here.
Onto this back road here.
Man, that's a good sounding motor.
He likes it. I like it. Sounds even different from like the passenger seat. I don't know if you guys have noticed that on your cars too, but it always sounds a little bit different when you're not in the driver's seat. Yeah, just that rasp.
And where does, I think your sound generator comes into the driver's side too.
Yeah, I think that's why the sound changes significantly too.
Yeah, driving in sixth gear, and it's just, it actually feels like it kind of rolls on the same, like at this speed as the FR-S almost, just between gearing and things.
Yeah, oh my god, the sixth gear in this has no power. So essentially, like, 6 is really only, it's like a double overdrive gear.
Oh, so is fourth 1-to-1 then?
So I think 5th is 1-to-1 in this car.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, same with the FR-S.
Yeah.
6 is overdrive.
You might actually be right though. It might be 4th is 1-to-1, because I remember I was watching Autotop NL or whatever, and the guy took the bullet on the Autobahn, and he hit the speed limiter in 4th gear.
True. I mean,
That's how tall these gears are, though. Just so people like have an understanding. Like,
you were low on fuel, bro.
Oh yeah, I know. Got like what, 40 kilometers or something, 50.
I have to say that automatic rev match thing takes a while to get used to.
Yeah, it is. It is really weird. It's a complete mindfuck when you're just trying to get used to it at first.
But going around a corner feels amazing.
Yeah, the performance package is pretty fucking amazing, eh?
You feel like it's a bigger car, which is actually nice because the seats are big and comfy for a bigger person.
Yeah.
But then putting it around a corner between all the performance pack and just the car's natural handling and this awesome body and chassis, like it feels nice. It goes around just so smooth. It doesn't make me feel like a crowd killer at all.
Yeah. Yeah, that's only when you get the traction control off.
But I'm definitely like still throttle whipping with my foot.
I know, eh? It's honestly, it's so weird to get used to at first. And, you know, I turn it off every once in a while, too, just to, like, keep my brain and, like, my muscle memory.
Yeah.
And there's something about, like, just rev matching with the V8 that just feels so good, you know? Like obviously the computer does it really well and makes them sound really good, but when you do it yourself, you can actually make it like pop and crackle a little bit more and almost do like fatter downshifts.
Yeah,
in a sense.
Drop it into gear.
Yeah,
this thing drops it into gear pretty nicely. We got a nice trailer here, so we're just cruising.
Yeah. I can't even focus on this thing. Let me try and use. Oh yeah, this is what we're looking at right now, guys. So
we got a farm truck behind us.
Bear with us. Hope he doesn't fucking kick a rock up into the car or something.
Yeah, cool.
It's all good.
So now I know that when 5.0s are going by downshifting at me, it's not even the driver.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, don't think they're like a really good driver or anything. They might just have the auto rev match on.
Yeah, it feels really nice and natural. Like, I remember I drove Mustangs a few years, not even a few years ago, like 4 or 5 years ago, and the GT didn't feel this responsive. It didn't feel like the motor was that aggressive. It didn't feel like it had the handling characteristics that this thing has. And so I'm really impressed with the change over the last few years. Definitely a car that was on my potential list. And I think personally, for kind of like the formula of, I think especially people that subscribe to the channel, of naturally aspirated, good value, usable, manual cars, this is nice. This is right in that realm.
Yeah, he likes it.
Like, when you go into something like BMW M2s and things like that, you're into turbo realm again, which is amazing for power, but it's just not for me. Like, I respect it. I think the M2 is one of the best cars on the road right now that money can buy, but then this car sits here with a $50,000 price tag, 6-speed manual, naturally aspirated with one of the best motors America's ever built. Pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So, a funny thing, I'll have to like edit this in earlier, but in my car, I have this thing in my head where like 0 to 10, first gear is fine. After that, I want to be in second gear, usually around 3,500 RPM, and you kind of like are a gear for every 10 kilometers going up.
Yeah.
This car, not like that at all. I'm just driving around in third gear, I'm pretty sure now. There's no gear indicator, but it feels like third gear.
Yeah.
And it's happy, just cruising at 50, 60. Just pick up and go if you wanted to, but it also just kind of cruises, and I like it. It's actually a really comfortable package. I would move your seat around a shit ton if I felt like it, but I don't want to ruin all your seating position.
Well, and there we are, pulling up. Beauty. So you got anything to say, Jesse?
I think I'm good.
You don't say.
All right, so there you have it. I'm an 8.6 driver. This is my perspective on the 2021 Mustang 5.0 manual with a couple little mods here, especially some sound mods going on. I think at the end of the day, being able to drive these things back to back, I really appreciate both of them in their own realm. I think this car is built to do something that I can't really do where I live, unfortunately, but it does make up for it with being just amazingly cheap to own and amazingly fuel efficient. This car, however, actually is the perfect car to be driving where I live, with big, flat, straight open roads. This thing is comfy, it has a ton of space, it's good for a bigger build, it's got power everywhere, and it just cruises better than anything I've ever driven before. So I'm absolutely in love with this car. The fact that they kept it naturally aspirated, the fact that they went with independent suspension and they kept improving on it over time for like, what is it now, like 60, 70 years or something? That's amazing. This has got to be one of my favorite cars, a naturally aspirated, almost a supercar that can be used for really anything. So thank you very much for watching. We're going to be back with more. I'm going to try to review some other cars here. Not sure how they're going to compare to this 5.0. I want to thank Louis again for joining me on the video. Thank you very much for coming back, for watching, hopefully subscribing, liking, throwing a comment, and sharing it with anybody that you can think of that would appreciate this car or the comparison between these two. Thank you very much. Hope everybody's happy and healthy. This is Jesse with Finding My Wings. See you later.